And indeed, a very good morning to you. Welcome to this morning's United Kingdom Talk. It's a Tuesday morning, the 8th of February, 2011, round about 5 minutes past 11. Good morning, Chris Reardon with you. This is United Kingdom Talk on United Kingdom Radio. And I've just got a message from someone, actually, who's been watching the video stream of this. You can watch as well as listen to this, OK? If you're with us live, as I say, it's 5 past 11, Tuesday, the 8th of February, 2011. If that's the time now, while you're watching this, then you know you're with us live, and you can watch live simply by going to unitedkingdomradio.co.uk and either click listen or live. Now, before I start the show, because it is, you know, a radio show with a video camera attached to it. Do you know what I mean? And before I start the show, I do tend to start the video camera going, so that I know everything's working. You know, I kind of start that a few minutes before I start. So you always see these pictures of me doing things in the studio where I'm looking at bits of paper or making strange faces. And don't pretend you don't do that. I bet when you're at home, you do strange faces, like, you know, stretching your nose, like that, or do it, or opening your eyes. What about this one? You know, it's sort of strange face stretches or things like that. And the lovely fag Ash Lil has been watching this just before we went on air, and she says, "Psst, you get dressed in a hurry. Your shirt is done up wrong." And you know what? You're right. My shirt is in fact done up wrong. Now I'm going to have to undo a few buttons, but it's okay because you can only see the top half of me, can't you? I'm going to have to undo a few buttons and redo up my shirt. Well done, Lil. You see, this is the thing. If I was at the BBC, there'd be someone to tell me that, wouldn't there? You know, costumes and hair and makeup and all that business. That'd be quite nice. So I'm trying to do these buttons up round my stomach, to be honest, Lil. But of course, being away, I've put on a bit more weight, yes. I hate to say this, but I'm now 13 stone and 7 pounds. I've no idea what that is in American pounds. 13 stone is 14 pounds. So times 13 by 14 and add another 7. And that's how many pounds I am. Don't ask me what the kilograms are, okay? So thank you very much for that, Fag Ash Lil, for pointing out that my shirt was incorrectly done up. I do apologise. I really ought to, you know, I really ought to try and dress better before I actually come on the show, I think. That's what I have to do. Good morning, Lil. Lil is, indeed in Hove. And it's been a few weeks. Do you know, I don't think I've spoken to you since Christmas, Lil. Is that right? Have we kept sort of quiet since Christmas? I've hardly seen you at all, Lil. Nice to have you back then, my darling. Okay. Let's have a look there. Good morning to Phil Huckley, who sends in a message via Skype. You can join in by Skype or email. If you're with us live, you can join in by Skype. Our Skype username is all one word, United Kingdom Radio. Okay? All one word, United Kingdom Radio on the Skype. There's a phone number as well. It's 020 3287 1488. 020 3... Do you know, actually, I haven't had an email to renew that, so I'm just going to check that still works. 020 3287 1488. That's the phone-in number. Let's see if something happens. Yes, it does. Okay, so the phone-in number is working as well, if you want to give us a call at some point. Or, if you're watching or listening to a recording of this via YouTube or something like that, then you can join in for the next show by email. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, now Phil, who's in Hoddesdon, hello Phil, says, I've been listening to the Saturday the 11th of December show. It's been going back in the archives, haven't you? Yes. And he says, how's Ron's car dent? Has it been fixed, or has he had another bike crashed into him? No, it's been fixed. It was fixed, and it was actually not bad at all. I think he paid about 70 quid or something to have this thing fixed. I don't know if he actually went down a proper BMW garage or someone else did it, but he's had it done, and you can't tell, to be honest. You can't tell that there's any damage there, so there we are. How's your sister? Did she cry at the wedding? We haven't had the wedding yet, dear. Do pay attention to the whole show, Phil. The weddings haven't happened yet. Those of you that don't know, my sister has her daughter and one of her sons getting married this year. Tracy is getting married in May, and Gary is getting married in April. So we've all got 2 weddings to go to this year in Lincolnshire. I'm very much looking forward to that. And it hasn't happened yet, Phil. Are you getting your dates confused? Eh? So there has been no tears yet, I'm afraid. But I am looking forward to standing next to my sister at my niece's wedding and watching her bawl her eyes out. I mean, it's a long time since I've seen that, to be honest. Last time I saw that, she was a little girl and I used to beat her up. I really did. So no tears yet, I'm afraid. All right. Phil wants to know what's wrong with wooden floors. I love them. Oh, yes, someone mentioned, I think it was my best mate, Ron. He suggested that I have a couple of wooden floors in some of the rooms in my house, and they're not for me, I'm afraid. I don't like wooden floors. I do like a bit of carpet underneath. I like to spring as I walk, like Zebedee from the Magic Roundabout. Do you remember that? Magic Roundabout. By the way, have you seen the new version of the Magic Roundabout? Oh, it's dreadful. What a disappointment. While I was in Australia, one of the channels there, I think ABC3, shows cartoons and children's things all the time, and they had the new version of the Magic Roundabout on there, all remade. It is very, very disappointing. All done with computer graphics. No puppets, nothing. Computer graphics. Very, very disappointed with the new Magic Roundabout, I have to say. And no, there's no wooden floors in a Magic Roundabout. But that's why I like carpets, you see. I like to spring as I walk, just like Zebedee on the original series of the Magic. Has anyone else seen that? The new version of the Magic Roundabout. Very, very disappointing, dear. Very, very disappointing. Who's ringing on the phone now? I bet this is my mate Ron. Hello? Oh, hello, sister. All right, dear. What's wrong? Pardon? No, I'm doing my show at the moment. I'm 11 minutes into my show. And we were just talking about you, sis. Well, I'm just saying how much I'm looking forward to seeing you cry your eyes out when my niece gets married. And the last time I saw that was when I used to beat you up. I'll ring you later. Love you, sis. Say hello to the listeners.
Hello, listeners.
Yeah, she's very quiet. She won't come on for more than that, I'm afraid. Goodbye. My dear, to fancy her ringing at just the right moment there. So we must have carpet on the floor so I can spring along as I walk through my mansion here in Royal Berkshire. Phil also says Mike doesn't believe in Father Christmas. Yes, that was little Mike who used to ring in. I don't think he listens to the show anymore. But yes, I'm afraid he doesn't believe in Father Christmas. Quite frankly, I'm surprised he got any presents at all last year. You know, once you say that, I think it's, you know, it's a shame that people can't believe in things unless they have proof or can see. That's all I'm saying on that one. Okay? Father Christmas does exist. Every year he comes down my chimney, that lucky old man, and... Stop it. And delivers a few presents to me here in Royal Berkshire. Phil also says, I don't understand what is the point in learning Latin. Oh, it's a nice language, Latin. I mean, I couldn't speak to you in Latin, but I know, like, the bits in the Mass, in the Catholic Mass that are Latin and that. But it's all dying out, believe me. It's a great shame that Latin's dying out. He says, one other thing. You were talking about some people like to chat, others just like to listen on shows. Well, I am a listener. Yes, I know. There are plenty of people, there are actually hundreds of people who listen to this show, but have only a very few ever write in. Which is okay, you know, it's entirely up to you what you want to do. It is nice to get letters. Emails, Skypes, anything that. It is nice, but I'm fully aware some people just like to sit there and listen, and that's fine as well, you know. We don't beg for calls, unlike some of the other programmes, people begging for calls all the time. We don't beg for calls. I accept the fact that you just want to sit there and relax maybe, cigarette in one hand, glass of white wine in the other hand, just listening to the voice of Britain, Chris Reardon. That's what you're listening to, isn't it? Phil also says... keep your video going. You mentioned on Saturday who wants to actually keep the videos going, or should we just do away with the videos and just go to audio only? And actually, a lot of people have said they want the videos kept going, and I'll come to those emails in a second, all right? Good morning to Wayne. Morning, Wayne, who's with us this morning in Norwich. Morning, Wayne, who says, what chimney? Oh, yeah, well, yes, no, Wayne, dear, I haven't actually got a chimney, yes. But it's nice to imagine it, isn't it? Next Christmas Eve, which is not that far away, I want you to go to bed, Wayne, and imagine that you have a chimney. Put some presents downstairs, because I know what a lonely old character you are, really. Just put some presents downstairs where your radiator is, okay, for yourself, and then forget about them on Christmas Eve, right? Go to bed and just keep thinking about a sad old man coming down your chimney. Even if you haven't got a chimney, pretend you have got one, right? Try and dream of that. And then when you get up in the morning, you say to yourself, as I do, I'm afraid, you say to yourself, oh, I wonder if Father Christmas has left me any presents. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. Also on Christmas Eve, when you put the presents by the radiator, also leave a cup of milk and a mince pie on a table. Okay? Do that. Then go to bed and imagine yourself with a chimney. Tell yourself in your head, because I know about the voices in your head, you know. I'm fully aware of those voices in your head, Wayne. Okay? I do understand about those. Tell those voices in your head that Father Christmas is coming. Not like that. Father Christmas is coming down your chimney and delivering presents, and then when you wake up in the morning, dash downstairs, quickly throw away the mince pie and the cup of milk, pretending that you never even saw them there, and look! Oh! Someone has left presents next to my radiator! Oh, it's great fun, Wayne. You've got to get in the spirit, dear. You must get in the spirit. He says, you really want me to imagine your chimney in bed and put my prezzies downstairs? Yes! Yes, do it. Imagine yourself a little boy again, not knowing about your brain has not been infected. It has not been infected by older children telling you, those nasty older boys and girls, that Father Christmas doesn't exist. Oh, come on. Have fun. Have fun. That's it. Wayne wants to know who told me about the voices in your head. No one needs to tell me, Wayne. I can tell by the messages that you send that there are indeed voices in your head. Okay, the email address of the show once again is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Good morning, Merlin. The very, very sexy Merlin. Good morning, Merlie. Merlie, do you like that? Merlie. Merlin Merlie. Do you like that? Merlie. I'm going to call you Merlie in future. Morning, Chris. I'm listening in the taxi on the way back from work. Sad old man didn't know my dad was coming down the chimney. Yes, he does. Was your dad coming down the chimney as well? Why doesn't he just use the front door? I mean, it's a lot easier. The chimney is for Father Christmas, Merlin. Okay? The chimney is for Father Christmas, not for your dad. Tell him not to start going up and down chimneys. It's very, very dangerous. Only Father Christmas can come. Tell him to use the door. It's so much easier. It really is. Merlin must be listening on his mobile phone. You can listen to this show, by the way, if you've got an iPhone or something like that, on an app called TuneIn Radio. Okay? TuneIn Radio. I think it's about 59 pence. About $1 US. It's very, very cheap. TuneIn Radio is the app you want. Just search for United Kingdom Radio on there, and you should hear us streaming away on there. Okay? TuneIn Radio is the iPhone app. Let's see. Oh, is this message for me or not? I don't know. Is that for me? No, that's not for me. That's not for me. Not for me. Fag Lil. Oh, hang on. Merlin says, I would, but since Dad left, Mum is the only way. Dad left. Mum, it's the only way he can get in. What, through the chimney? Stop it now. We're not going down this road of breaking up parents and things like that. Well, tell her, you can leave the door open for him on the sly, can't you? Poor old soul he is. Fag Lil says, keep the video. At least it makes you do a half-hearted attempt at looking smart. Oh, believe me, before we did the video, now I've been doing the video to this show, I think it's over 2 years now. There's about 500 of them altogether. And before I did that, I used to come in here really trampish, you know. I mean, I've got old tracksuit bottoms on now, but you can't see them. But I'd have a scruffy old T-shirt. And in the summer, I wouldn't bother having a shirt on at all. But now I have my air conditioning in this room. I can be fully clothed in the middle of summer. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Lil says, anyway, not talking to you. You missed my birthday. There I was looking forward to getting a mention on your show the other day where you were in Sydney. Well, I don't know when your birthday is, do I? Oh, that's the other thing. As you know, I've just had my birthday on Saturday. I'm 48 years old now, boys and girls. 48. I know, I don't look it. Isn't it amazing? I think my body is starting to look it. It's sort of sagging in places. I used to have such a nice chest and a nice waist and a pert little bust bottom and nice slim legs, and now everything's hanging a bit. Do you know what I mean? It all seems to be hanging a bit. I don't know about the chin. Have I got a hanging down chin or not? I don't know. I don't think my chin's hanging down yet, but the rest is, I'm afraid. Which is very, very concerning. But it was my birthday on Saturday, and I got so many Facebook happy birthday messages. Over 200 of them. I can't believe that. And I'm not quite sure how that works, right? Because now Fagaslia was telling me that it was her birthday while I was away in Australia. Now, how do you know? Because I don't get messages or anything from anyone telling me that it's their birthday. Are you supposed to get an email or something? Where does that appear on Facebook? Because I seem to be missing that somehow. So I don't know really, Lil. I know it's somewhere on Facebook. People obviously are told when it's people's birthdays, but I'm not getting told that. So is this something I need to turn on or something like that? Merlin will know that because he's young. He'll know that. Merlin, how do I do that? How do I turn on people's birthdays so that I get an email when it's people's birthdays? Because I'm not sure. Wayne says, your birthday is shown on Facebook unless you hide the dates. Check your privacy settings. No, I haven't hidden the date. That's what I'm saying. Lots of people wished me happy birthday on Saturday via Facebook. So they can obviously see when it's my... Oh, the phone's ringing again now. Just a minute. Hello? Well, I'm in the middle of a show, dear. Oh, just before you go... Oh, it's all right. It's my best friend, Ron. He's just come out of hospital. I think he's had a personality put in. That must have been a big job. I've had 3 in the last 20 minutes. Can I just ask, did you say you have a scanner? Can I copy something round your house? Good, because I've got the hang on, let me just get this thing over here. I've got the you know, my printer cartridge thing. They're quite big, and then when they run out, they like you to send them back for recycling. And I'm missing one of the address labels. It's a great big plastic thing, so and we'll drop that in the post office. Now, I'll hopefully meet you in Kingston about what did I say, about 2:15? 2:15, 2:30. Do you know where to park? Okay, if... All right. Now listen. There's you might want to park in Bentl's car park. Bentl's car park. Now, on the way to Kingston, you follow it right the way down to the end, and then kind of at the end of the road, you have to turn right or left. You want to go right and follow the one-way system right round, and eventually you'll come to the Bentl's car park. I would stop when you get near and ask someone. Oh, hang on, you can put that into your sat-nav, can't you? Yeah, well, it's Bentl's. Well, have you got the address? Oh, you'll do it. Okay, then. Okay. Is Andy with us as well? Okay, see you later. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. 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 Stuck up, Kitty, is he? I mean, he really is, dear. Stuck up. Now, where are we? Fagashlil. We were talking to Fagashlil then. Oh, she says top right on the Facebook page. It tells you under events. Okay, so I'm on Facebook now. Oh, I see it now. Do you know, I've never noticed that. Because it used to be down the bottom. I do hate that when they move things, don't you? the Facebook people, they move things. Craig Adams is with us this morning. He says, tuning into your show this morning. Hope it's a good one. Love and sunny morning. Lovely and sunny morning this morning where I am in Hinckley. Hope you and everyone else is keeping well this morning. Yes, thank you. We're all doing well and firing on all cylinders this morning. Looking for a little shopping trip out to Bentall's in Kingston with my best friend Ron a little bit later on. Okay, so there we are. Now I see where people's birthdays are. Fair enough. And let me see. Oh, there is there's a couple of birthdays. People I know this morning. Jack. Let me see. Is that the Jack I think it is? Oh, yes. DJ Jack. Yes, I'll have to send them all messages. Thank you for letting me know that. Now I've found that. Funny, isn't it? You don't realise these things. And Phil says, happy belated birthday. Thank you, Phil. Still time, incidentally, for you to send in a present, Phil. Don't think that you've been too late. You know, it has been noted that you didn't bother sending in anything. Eh? And Merlin says on the right-hand side it says birthdays and lists them. Yes, I can see that now. I don't think I see things half the time. I don't look properly. Okie doke. Now, let me see. I had a very nice birthday, actually. Didn't do much. That was on Saturday. My best friend took me out. We had a carvery down at the Toby Carvery in Langley, which is quite near Slough, so that was very nice down there. And I think that's about it. While I was at work, I was working in Bluches in Hammersmith, doing some DJing every Saturday night there. And a lot of the boys and girls down there come up and wished me happy birthday. And it was all very nice. There were no presents, really, I'm afraid. You know, very, very... Oh, that's the point. Ronnie hasn't given me a present. Oh, I hope I get one. Do you think I should remind him? Did I get any presents? Yes, I did, from my friends on Norfolk Island. They bought me a few lovely things, actually. You know, things to do with the island, like CDs and bits and pieces like that. So that was very nice. Now, there's a brand new DJ mix up online. Okay, I sell DJ mixes now. They're 80p each. You get about an hour and 20 minutes worth of music. All right, and you get the track list as well. 80p they are, fully licensed by PRS, and you can find those by going to show.Watch. That's the new mix, dated the 5th of February, same date as my birthday. Get that now from show.Watch. The 80p goes towards the running costs of United Kingdom Radio. That's the only reason I sell those, okay? Hopefully at some point. It might break even sometime, I don't know, but we'll have to see. So once again, non-stop DJ mix, 1 hour, 20 minutes long. It's... fairly poppy music, okay? You could dance all night along to that. There's no R&B on there, I'm afraid. It's all sort of fairly upbeat stuff. And you can find that at chrisreardonshow.co.uk. chrisreardonshow.co.uk. Some emails coming in here over the last few days. Vicky, good morning, Vicky, who sends happy birthday wishes. She says, best wishes for your birthday on Saturday, which was, of course, last week, for a happy, healthy, fun year to come. Well, I hope it's all those things. I hope it's all those things. But I do get fed up with people saying that thing again. Oh, this'll be the year that you meet someone. Oh, it's going to be your year. Every blooming year I've heard that for the last 48 years. I'm sick of it. So don't bother. Because it ain't going to happen, okay? Don't tell me I'm being negative. It's the way it is. They're not interested, and that's it. She says, P.S. Glad you are back from your vacation. That's a very American saying, isn't it? It's holiday, dear. What is it with the Americans changing our words like that? It's a holiday. Holiday, not vacation. Hope you had a great time and looking forward to hearing the tales of your adventures. Missed you while we were away. Hope Katie the cat is doing well. She will be so glad to see you. Yes, she was. Katie the cat was very glad to see me. She was all over me. And I haven't stopped picking her up and giving her little kisses against her whiskers. Vacations are fun, but like Dorothy said, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Why did she say it 3 times? I don't know. And that's from Vicky. So thank you, Vicky. Right, now, as I was saying... hang on a minute. Simon... I need a little prop for this, just a moment. Let me go in my drawer here. Simon sent in. Simon's in Australia. Very good friend of mine, actually. I used to do DJing with him. Blimey, about let me think, about 18, 20 years ago. I used to DJ with Simon, and he's in Australia. I think he's on sort of Perth way. I think he's over that way. And he wrote Aussie money, because we were talking about Aussie money on Saturday's show, and I have two Aussie notes with me, a $10 note and a $5 note, and they're made of plastic. Okay, you really can't tear these. There's no way you can't. And seriously, I'm not doing this gently. I've got a $10 Aussie note in front of me here, right? And you cannot tear Aussie notes, right? Absolutely not. Not even a small rip. They do not break. And Simon says, Aussie money is made out of plastic, so it doesn't dissolve in water if you inadvertently leave it in your boardies and go surfing. So thank you for that, Simon. Although, to be honest, I'd love to do that. I would love to be able to go surfing, but I see these lads on the boards there. And I mean, I can't even stay on a skateboard, to be honest. I don't think I'd be very good at surfing at all. So thank you for that, Simon, and nice to hear from you, mate, okay? Merlin says, I thought you said you would never go back there after the rude and rubbish service you had. What, Bentles? No, you've got that wrong. The service at Bentles is very good. I think you've got the wrong shop there, Merlin. You must be thinking about somewhere else. Not quite sure where I would be talking about. Possibly Curry's, something like that. Might have been Curry's or Dixon's. Bentles, no, Bentles, I've never ever had. Bentles service is pretty good. The service in Bentles is... Oh, Toby Carvery. Sorry, Merlin. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, the Toby Carvery. Now, which one was it? No, that was another one. That was the Toby Carvery in Reading, in Caversham. That's where we had the bad service. The Saturday we went to the Toby Carvery in Langley in Slough, which is because they've got them all over the place. They don't have any in London. Strangely enough, you don't seem to find these cheap carveries in London. If anyone knows any different, do let us know that, okay? All right, so there we are. No, the Toby Carvery in Caversham in Reading is the one where I experienced bad service, very bad service. Probably won't go there again. But the Toby Carvery in Langley in Slough is very good service in there, okay? Quite good service. Phil and Hodderson says, blimey, you're older than me. Yeah, but do I look older than you, Phil? That's the thing. I mean, I've yet to see a picture of little Phil there, to be honest. Eh? Wayne says, oh, there's a birthday app in Facebook too, but when you log into Facebook regularly, it tells you on the top right page when someone has a birthday coming up. Yes, I haven't seen that. So thanks for that, Wayne. Now, we must do some... I haven't spoken about Australia at all yet. I've got a load of emails here. James says, hi Chris, a friend showed me an Australian dollar note once, and I think it looked so good. It had a clear see-through plastic bit in the middle of it. No, it's not in the middle, it's on the side. On the side is like a little clear bit, and you can look straight through that. Yes, there is a clear bit in the note. He says it has a clear see-through plastic bit, which I think could be quite catchy with the tourists a souvenir in itself. Yes, I suppose you're right there. I mean, they're beautifully designed, the Australian money. I have to say, the Australian dollars. James says, pets are so fascinating, they seem to have a character all of their own. Oh, yes, they do. You know, if you have two or three cats, you will notice that they all have completely separate personalities. It's true. James says, like with my cat, she is a long, big, built cat who thinks she owns the place and bullies us. Oh, yeah, you belong to the cats. Oh, yes. Cats rule the house. Dogs will do as they're told. That's the thing with cats. They will not do as they're told. They do their own thing, and that's it. They're not interested in anything you've got to say, or whatever. Cats will do their own thing. James says, I heard the caller from Saturday's show. Or was that Simon or Christopher? That was Simon, wasn't it? And I'm afraid there are a lot of the British seaside towns going. Firstly, I think chimes are changing, and secondly, I think things are so expensive now. You're right. You are so right. He says the theatres you were talking about can be expensive. Some have had to slash their prices, I think, and people seem to be making more of a holiday abroad now. He says, example, people don't seem to be doing the day trips to Europe now, I think. Well, I hope that you and Ron have a nice time. Yes, we went out for dinner on for my birthday on Saturday. Glad to have you back. Hope you're enjoying the weather now you're back. And that's from James. Yes, I mean, it is very expensive in this country to go on the holiday, isn't it? And you're right, you know, if you go out to the theatre in London, you know, you're looking at £60 per person. You imagine, it's all right on my own. You know, if you're a person on your own, I suppose, really, you can afford these things. But when you get a family, say, you know, mum, dad, and say even just one child, if you was to go out to a theatre, you'd say goodbye to £150, £200. It's a hell of a lot of money. And I often wonder, you know, how do people in normal jobs actually afford to go out anywhere? Even the cinema now. In London, the prices of going to a cinema in London are very, very dear indeed. Here in Bracknell, I think it's about £6 for a ticket, which isn't too bad, I suppose. You know, £6 for a film ticket. But if you was to have the hot dog and the Coke, you know, very, very expensive day out. Or night out, really. So perhaps that's why people go abroad. You can get a reasonably cheap package holiday, really, for going to other places. You stay in England, then it's very, very expensive. Hotel rooms are very expensive in the UK, unless you get one of those special deals. I know Travelodge do them sometimes. £29 for a room in a hotel or something like that. Stephen's on the line in Sweden. Good evening, Stephen.
Oh, good evening.
Good morning, sorry. Good morning, Stephen. All right?
Evening, is it?
Well, mate, I thought it was for you. That's usually the time you get up, isn't it?
No, it's we're only 1 hour ahead.
Just 1 hour? Okay, fair enough. What can I do for you today?
You know, I was thinking about the people who tell their children that Father Christmas doesn't exist.
I think it's awful, Stephen. I hope you believe in it.
I do. I argue the points. I've been writing a book called How to... It's either going to be called How to Love Children or Showing Love to Children, and it's a psychology book. And I've stated that I'm going to write a part of it about how it can turn children into like serial killers or something if they discover that Father Christmas, or if they're told that Father Christmas doesn't exist in the wrong way.
Well, I think it's frightening, to be honest, Stephen. How old are you?
Quite old.
How old are you?
About 30.
30. And you still believe in Father Christmas?
Of course I do.
You see, there is hope. You see, there is hope. When I hear something like that, it fills me with glee and hope. Not the Glee on the television, mind, but glee and hope. Do you ever watch that Glee?
Oh, no, it sounds awful.
It's the most... the dreadful people on there. Dreadful people. Can I ask you a question?
I suppose so.
How do you go about writing a book?
Well, the funny thing is, actually, when it's a book that's based on research, it actually isn't that tricky. You look around, and the information kind of makes it right itself.
Do you have to do any planning or any, like some sort of outlay on a bit of paper? What's the word I'm looking for?
That's a very good idea.
Is there some sort of format that you stick to, or what? How does that? Yeah, because I often see all these celebrities and what have you start writing books and things, and I think to myself, how on earth do they go about doing something like that? I mean, it would fill me with dread. The thought of having to write. I mean, I can't even read one. I can read.
Well, that's the thing, right? You've got to learn the concentration skills, and read more books. Then that's the only way to write. If people don't read books, they can't write them.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm lacking, concentration. Although I have to say, while I was on holiday, I got through another 200 pages. You know, I'm still reading that Tony Blair book. Did I tell you I was reading a Tony?
I wouldn't start with that. Start with something good. Let's think. Something by what's his name? Freaking hell. Bukowski is really interesting.
Who?
Bukowski. Don't know what to say about him. He's. I think he wrote the book Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Okay.
What about himself? He went around taking a lot of drugs, and he's very interesting, very easy to read and get absorbed in his books. Or
I just don't find I have the time to do this. The only time I'll do it is when I've got nothing to do, i.e. on holiday. You know, when you're sitting there and you've not got a lot to do, and that's when the book gets opened. And then I read 100 pages, all within the space of, I suppose, about an hour. Would it be an hour, 100 pages? Does that sound about right?
I wouldn't. That's probably more than I would be able to read in an hour.
Quite often.
So I wouldn't. No, I don't believe that people don't have time. They can always make time.
Quite often.
When it comes to writing, when it comes to writing books, the best thing is people should write short stories first, lots and lots of them.
Right. Okay. I can read short stories. Ronald Dahl. He does a short stories, and I've read that. I'm quite all right with short stories, but often I find, certainly with that, you know, with books and that, I'll read a bit and then think, oh, I've missed that, and then go back and read it again.
Well, I'll do that as well. That's fine. Good short stories. Edgar Allan Poe writes amazing short stories.
Do you find you get to the end of a paragraph and you're thinking, I'm not sure what that was about, and then read that paragraph again?
It can be like that, yeah. It can be.
I find myself like that a lot.
Yes, but I can say I haven't finished writing this psychology book yet. But I've written stories, and those are tricky because, like, 2/3 into the book, people can end up thinking, what are we going to write about? And what people are supposed to do is anything really. They have to live as the characters. That can help. They can spend the day living as the character and thinking what he would do.
How long does it take to write a book then, like a novel?
Oh, I don't know. It can take anything from 2 months to. Now look at Tolkien. It took him about 7 years or something.
See, I suppose it depends how good you are. You know that is it Barbara Cartland? Who was that woman she was always dressed in pink and had a pink poodle? Barbara Cartland, was it?
It's all about concentration and
she used to knock really, left, right,
it's all about concentration and not being lazy, really. Right, okay. Or kind of it's the same thing. It's finding time.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, I don't know. I don't suppose I'll ever be I have no really interest in writing a book or anything like that. But mind you, on the other hand, who would buy it? You know.
I think someone should write a book on this. This is a book that doesn't exist on how to present a radio program.
Oh, is it? Well, are you going to give that out to all your listeners?
I've written it. I haven't written it, but I'm thinking. I think someone should, and how to get into a radio station. That would be you'd start by opening the door, wouldn't you? And making tea.
It's all a bit of a closed shop, really. It's very formatted radio stations now.
Oh dear. But
Stephen, I've just realised I didn't have the button pushed then, and no one could hear you.
Oh, well.
Or they could hear you very quietly. I'm sorry about that.
Bob Idaho said, tell Chris we can
barely hear you. Oh, God. I can't believe that. I didn't have the button pressed where you are.
That's all right. I spent 2 hours yesterday with nobody. No, actually, they probably somebody's by.
I'm so sorry about that. If you're actually, those of you that are getting this on the recording will have heard that properly. It's the people who are with us live.
Oh, this is for Bob Idaho.
Who didn't?
I thought she didn't write it properly.
Yeah.
She said, "Tell Chris We can barely hear you.
I've got so into your conversation with you that I stopped looking at the screens in front of me, and everyone's telling me that I was talking to myself. I'm sorry about that, Steve. No one could hear you then, only me.
It's never too late to start reading more stories. But the more stories you read and document, what do you call the bloody things? Excuse me.
Autobiography.
Factual books.
Yes, factual.
The more you feel that you can do it, really.
Well, as I say, I'm reading that Tony Blair one, and that's fairly factual, and it's quite funny in places. You know, he is quite funny in places. Yeah.
There's a biography, autobiography. The one that Sting wrote is very good.
Yes,
well.
yes. And I've got one from Ronnie Corbett as well, who writes about his life. I've got that as well.
Oh, that's interesting. But the thing is, the book is. Yeah. I'm telling Bob. She didn't hear me. I think it's called How to Love Children.
Yeah, let me just tell people, those of you that didn't hear what was going on then. Stephen, who's on the show. When are you with us again, Stephen?
I think it says on the schedule on Wednesday, but I'm not going to be there. It's only Mondays at 8 until 10.
Mondays 8 to 10. That's the only one you're doing, is it?
It is. But I also do something else on a different.
Yeah, go on, talk about it then.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I do another show that isn't quite as clean, and it's very, very unplanned a lot of the time.
And where can we find
1,000 likes. Called under the name of Atticus Down. Called Talking Crap, and that is really what it is.
It's a very good idea. I was just going to say, any of the other presenters, we like to keep it fairly clean here on United Kingdom Radio, but if you want to do another show with like no holds barred sort of thing, then you can always do that on 1,000 mics, and there's nothing wrong with you mentioning it here on the station. No trouble at all with that.
No, but when I went to radio school, I was told, whatever you do, don't mention other radio stations.
Yeah, but we're not the BBC. That's all right here.
No, it isn't the same thing, because people don't tune in.
Just tell people, like you've just explained exactly how it is. It's not as clean on here as it is on here, and you can find it out. There you are, and then people have got the choice of listening or not.
Well, the thing is, it's a very different experience on that other thing.
You are a man of many experiences. I know that, Stephen.
Oh, nice.
Possibly not as many as mine, but I'll change that.
Was your trip home?
I'll change that for you next time you come to London.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Was your trip home problem-free?
My trip home? Yes, it was. It was all right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you? Right.
Why? Did you have some sort of psychic message for me?
A psychic message?
Did you see something was going to happen?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh.
Apparently, people. Planes that are going to crash. Apparently, there are very sudden. What do you call it? They people suddenly cash in their tickets and don't go on the planes.
I've heard of this many times. Oh yes, I've heard that.
Yeah, it's a proof of psychic abilities. I read about that in somewhere. I heard about it. I don't know who said it originally. I'm not sure really.
I've heard that. Scary, isn't it, Stephen? I love to go. I've got a few more emails here.
Right. Oh, good day. Bye-bye.
So, Monday, 8 o'clock?
Yes, bye.
We'll see you Monday. Thanks, Steve. He's writing a book. Fancy that? I think that's very... I think that's very clever. Writing a book. I don't think that's something I could ever achieve. I don't know. Mind you, I think you can achieve anything if you really want to, don't you? Merlin says, I did wonder why you were talking to yourself. Yeah, sorry about that. Those of you with us live missed half of that conversation, didn't you? Now I forgot to push the live button. There was so many buttons in front of me. Phil, I know you got the end of that conversation. Wayne says, did you know that our English banknotes are made of cotton and not paper? I didn't know that. Really? So could I make a jumper out of £50 notes? I don't suppose that would stay on me very long, would it, eh? Fag Ashley says, was just wondering why we couldn't hear Stephen. Yeah, that's my fault. I didn't push the button. Do apologise. Okay? So many things to remember. Back to these emails then. And James writes, "Hi Chris, just a little note to you having the video, because we were asking on the last show, should we carry on doing a video or not?" James says, "It would be nice to have the video, as there are people like me who are a little hard of..." Now, I never thought of this, you see. I never thought of this. There are people like me who are a little hard of hearing and can miss some bits of the audio, but can pick it up on the video. So he's actually lip reading. Now, I never thought of this. I never thought there would be people out there watching the show lip reading. Never thought of that. He says, "I accept there are some people, like the lady with the iPhone, that there is some people that can't get video because of connection troubles and slow connections. I think slow connections soon will be a thing of the past." Well, I think that very much depends where you are, James. Here in the UK, we're pushing up now to 100 meg downloads. That's starting to be rolled out. But people like on the island I was in for 2 weeks in Australia, on Norfolk Island, the speed there is really slow. I mean, I think it wasn't even 1 meg. And I was trying to show someone my video, and it was just buffering all over the place. Impossible to watch it, really. She says, James says, "Look at what BT are doing with a fibre optic service and super fast broadband. I think people who can get internet will be able to get it eventually. And as for emails, the ones I sent you before you went away, I think were to say I had to play very quick catch-up, as I had a nice person with a swag bag nick people's telephone lines." Is that right? But up to date now, and shame there wasn't any recording from Australia this time. Yeah, I didn't do any recording at all while I was on holiday this time, I'm afraid. And he says, "And lad, you missed the terrible weather over there. It makes our weather troubles seem mild. Is the east coast of America getting over their snow troubles? I don't know. No one's told me about that. Hope I've been of help with this email." And that's from James. Yes, Australia has had, I do wonder whether humans are actually supposed to be in Australia. They've got all those deadly animals. Okay, there's not crocodiles and spiders walking down the streets of Sydney late at night. But yes, I mean, they have a lot of dangerous animals. The weather, they've had some bad luck there this year. They've had those terrible, terrible floods in Queensland, which was nowhere near me, incidentally. People don't realise how big Australia is. Let me explain to you. If you leave Sydney to come back to the UK on a plane, right, after you've been travelling for 5 hours, you are still going over Australia. That's how big it is. It's a massive, massive country. And the massive floods in Queensland, huge areas underwater. Then they had the cyclones, or the cyclone, that hit Queensland big time, and again big time. And now they've got the terrible forest fires in Perth. They're really having a bad time there at the moment. And, you do wonder, with those extreme conditions, were humans ever supposed to live in Australia? I don't know. Hi to Millie, who says, "Welcome back, lovey." She says, "I can't speak for anyone else, but I, for one, missed you while you were gone. Since you were gone. Although, having said that, I'm glad you had such a nice time on your holidays." I've got a lot of photographs actually up there that I took while I was away. You'll see a lot of pictures of children there, because my cousin has a little girl called Lizzie, and my other cousin has children with Archie. There's Fred, there's Finn, and there's India, the little girl who was, I think, 9. It was her 9-year-old birthday while I was there. A lot of fun with my cousin's children, and also some children on Norfolk Island. I seem to get on very well with little children. No, I say little children, all children, especially the little ones, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, something like that. And I went into, there was one occasion where we went into kindergarten, which is their nursery on Norfolk Island, to pick up my cousin's little girl. And while I was in there, I discovered in the corner of this classroom was instruments, drums, tambourines, and a little organ. So I went over there. Well, immediately I was like the Pied Piper. I was like the Pied. Immediately, all these kids gathered round and started jumping all over me. And this happened more than one occasion. I love it. I love it. I wish I had a family of children. That's the one thing, of course. If you're gay, you miss out on all this. People say, "Oh, you got a nice house," or "You got..." I've got a car. You know, it's not particularly. It's a car that goes from A to B. It's, oh, you got a nice house. You got a car. You go on nice holidays. Oh, you must be really rich. Believe me, if you've got a family of children, you are much, much richer than me. It's fantastic. And I do sometimes, often, feel that I've missed out big time on that. But what can you do? You know, if you don't fancy girls, then that's it. There's nothing you can do about it. If there was, I said this before, you know, if there was a pill to take, which would make me straight, then I probably would take it. Okay? Because I would love the family thing and all that business. That's wonderful. Wonderful. So yeah, wonderful time with the children. They were my best times. Spending time with children, little children, playing games with them and what have you. Yeah, lovely, lovely. She says, if I remember right, you said that your cousin's assignment on Norfolk Island will last 2 years. Are you allowed to say what will be next for him once his time on the island finishes? No, he doesn't know yet. Also, I think he's hoping that they're going to extend him to another year. He's hoping to get another year on the island. If not, it's actually up this year. So he may or may not get another year on the island, okay? Millie says, I also think I remember seeing something on your wall at one point about having found a kitten. Were you able to adopt it? Lots of love from Millie. Well, no. The kitten was on Norfolk Island, and I'm afraid it was claimed. How disappointed is that? A beautiful little kitten was found wandering around the shore. But someone has now claimed it, so there we are. We don't like to see lonely cats. Millie, what's the time? Oh, look at the time. Millie also says, in the email I sent yesterday, I forgot to say, my vote would be for you to continue with doing the videos, as well as the audio side of things. Yes, we can hear what's going on as you describe it in the audio version of the show, but I like to watch the videos as well, because it makes me feel as if I'm sharing a chat and a cup of tea with you. And also seeing you on the screen makes it feel more spontaneous. There are my 2 pennies worth. So thank you for that, Millie. We will be continuing doing the videos as so many people have asked for this. Oh, by the way, just after me at 12 o'clock, if you're with us live, okay, it's Tuesday morning, just coming up to 5 to 12 in the afternoon on Tuesday morning, the 8th of February 2011. Lee Mills should be after me at 12 o'clock on the watch button, all right? Let's have a look here. Sorry. Yep. Merlin, where are you, Merlin? Sorry, I'm losing. Merlin says, the other thing is, your Listen Live link has you underneath another audio stream. I don't know what that means. The Listen Live link has you underneath another audio stream. I don't know what you mean by that. Can you explain a little bit more, Merlin? Not understand what you mean by that, mate. Okay, don't forget the email address to the show, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Lisa in Mad California writes, just finished watching, Chris. As always, fun show. Hope you enjoyed the kitty cat video that I sent. Yes, I did. I love cat videos. Type into YouTube something like nasty cat or miserable cat or angry cat and you'll get some very funny videos coming over that. Okay? Your Listen Live has your show and another show on top of it. Does it? How's that working then? Is anyone else... Let me have a look. Oh, you're right. You're right, actually. I see what's happened there. Yeah, you're right. I know what's happened there. I haven't put myself in the schedule, have I? What a silly boy. So people are only watching today and not listening. I get you. Thank you for telling us. It took you long enough to tell us that, didn't it? Oh, dear. Didn't tell me that till 10 to. I could have done something about it. Never mind. I see what's happened there. I can see exactly on the screen exactly what's happened there. I'll make sure I sort that out for Thursday, okay? Lisa says, your mate Ron, who appeared on the show on Saturday, is cute. Does he happen to have any straight male single relatives? Probably. But I'm sure they'd all be too old for you, Lisa. Thank you. Hello to Red Lion, who watches the show via YouTube, who says, I love your show. However, you asked if you should stop if you should keep doing video or just audio. I can honestly say, if you ditch the video, I'll have to stop watching or listening. The best part of your show is the expressions on your face. Is it really? And the wonderful enthusiasm of your show. I don't think I would like just audio very much. And that's from Red Lion. That's the username on YouTube there, okay? If you ever want to watch any of the old shows, incidentally, you can do so. The main website for this particular show is at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, right? unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. We're nearly out of time. Can I just give a mention once again? My non-stop music mixes, the latest one is now available. It will cost you just 80 pence, about $1.50, something like that. And you can get that by going to chrisreardonshow.co.uk, right? chrisreardonshow.co.uk. The email address to the show, if you want to join in while we're off watching a recording, email address to the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Time for me to go, boys and girls. Thank you very much for watching and listening to the show today. I'll see you again Thursday morning at 11 o'clock UK time. All right, Thursday morning at 11 o'clock UK time. Lee Mills is after me. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye now.